everyone, so welcome to another video on WeMTB, and today we're just going to be talking about the different kinds of brakes. So yeah, so definitely back to the basics, like the root of brakes. If you have a kid's bike, like that's under $600, then you probably have these. If you have a road bike, you probably have these, if it's not very expensive, but rim brakes. So the thing about rim brakes is that they're different from disc brakes. Disc brakes, there's a little disc attached to your wheel on the hub. Rim brakes, they're mounted to your fork, as you can see up here, and they're just all nice and snug in there. So the thing about rim brakes is that they're good, but like if you see, they use cables, so they're pretty good. They're reliable to stop the bike. Like look, I'm holding down both, but that's the only problem about rim brakes. They're pretty. You have to generally service them more because they're mechanical. You generally have to service them a bit more than disc brakes, and they have a little bit less stopping power, and they have so many metal parts that they generally begin to rust after a while. So yeah, just reliable, but disc brakes are so much better. Just get a bike with disc brakes, please, if you're mountain biking. So now we're into the mechanical disc brakes, and yeah, so the only thing about this video is that it may seem kind of like we're comparing apples to oranges, because people know mechanical, it's like, oh my god, like hydraulic brakes are the best, mechanical ones suck, rim brakes suck. That is true, they are the best, but that isn't just about this video isn't about what's the best, but just what's good to have. So this is more of an entry-level bike than mine. This is my brother's bike, but so as you can see, you can just look at this. Instead of mechanical where there's no cable, these have a little cable and crimp, and they're a little more chunky and big than the other ones. So as you can see, when I pull the lever right back here, this little thing pivots. It pulls it and it pushes in the brake pads against the rotor. And pretty good stopping power, definitely better than the rim brakes. Like, it's hard to stop the bike. They're definitely better than the rim brakes, but probably not as good as the hydraulics. But on an very entry-level bike, they're just like really insanely better than rim brakes. Also, the cables don't rust, they don't fray, and they're just a little more robust and good in general. Also, they're like way lighter than like rim brakes. So yeah, that's mechanical brakes. And now we're at the holy grail of all brakes, which is definitely the hydraulic ones. So hydraulic disc brakes, they're insanely good. So these ones are 160mm rotors, and if you can see, if you come up close, is that, see how there was like a flap? When I squeeze the brake lever, that flap, there's no flap, and it doesn't go up. Nothing goes up because it's just all hydraulic. The only thing about these is that they're a little, like, much more rigid. You have to service them more for sure, which is one downside about them, because you have to get the brakes bled so they don't just fill up with air and there's no hydraulic fluid left in them. And bleeding your brakes is a scary process because you have to take apart your brake. Like, I just would bring it to a bike shop, but then there's just the hydraulic ones that stop very well, very quickly, and yeah, so that's about it for all the brakes, I would say. These ones can't even move the bike in like the slightest. It just jiggles because the suspension squishes down. Like if I turn on the lockout, literally nothing happens. So these are probably the best, but for a beginner bike, mechanical ones are great. Just avoid rim brakes and all that stuff. So yeah. Okay, so like and subscribe to WeMTB. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll just see you next time.